Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk. This is episode 99 of BNA Sports Talk. My 100th episode is probably just going to be my NFL season predictions, because this is about the time of year I usually upload that. Yeah, I perfectly timed it, didn't I? But so today I want to talk about a few things. So a couple things that have been in the news over the past couple days that I haven't really got my opinions out about, and I want you guys to know my opinions about certain things. So Ezekiel Elliot holding out from the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sick and tired of everybody holding out with their contracts and saying, I'm worth this, I'm worth that. Well, the CBA in 2020 is going to be very interesting. I think what the solution is to this problem is have running backs with the shorter rookie deal. 3 years. If you're drafted in the first round, you get a fourth-year option. I think that solves everything, because running backs want to get paid more early and often, because that's when their value is the highest. There's an exception to the rule, so make an exception. Running backs don't get paid after 5 years or 4 years, and a team's using that manipulation. I think the NFL should give running backs more power, because they're paving the way. They're giving you signs that the CBA isn't working. The current deal isn't really working out for them. As far as the Cowboys, I'm becoming less and less confident in them. I had a moment there where it's just like, you know what, the Dallas Cowboys, it seems like they don't want to take pay cuts. I agree kind of with Dak with, the salary cap is only going to go up. And I remember when people were saying Matt Stafford and Andrew Luck were overpaid, and when they got paid like $24 and $27 million. And now it seems like they're underpaid and paid just right. The market will go up. Dak Prescott, as far as prioritizing guys, you have to prioritize the defense. They should have drafted a quarterback. It's as simple as that. I think they should have said, Dak, you know what? We're going to move on. Their backup quarterback is awful. Like, what happens if Dak goes down or something happens to Dak? You're just going to give up on your entire season? I don't think that's a good way to move forward, and I think that's, what Dallas is. I have the Eagles as a favorite in the division. I think Carson Wentz returns to MVP form. I don't think he wins the MVP this year, but the only problems they have is pretty much their secondary. You have Ronald Darby, and then that second corner spot you're going to fight on, but Michael Bennett left. He wasn't what he used to be, but you still have Fletcher Cox. You still have Bobby Graham. You still have a lot of those guys. And yeah, this team they drafted well. It seems like every single decision they make is a smart decision. And the Dallas Cowboys, they're gonna Ezekiel Elliot, Amari Cooper. When was the last time a high-profile running back won? We say a lot about wide receivers. When's the last time a high-profile wide receiver won? But the same thing can be said about running backs. The last couple Super Bowl champions have done running back by committee. It's been the Eagles with Jay Ajayi. He was like their main guy, but they also had Sproles and I think Westbrook at that time too. So running back by committee has won. Sony Michel last year, and the Patriots have been successful. Cordell Patterson, Gray was there for a while, and a lot of guys. LeGarrette Blount, a lot of guys that running back by committee. So even though Dallas Cowboys have a number one running back, they've started to sacrifice their offensive line over the past couple of years. They haven't really been drafting that well. And I think you focus on your offensive line, because it made a couple guys look good. It made, what's his name, from a couple of years ago, DeMarco Murray, look amazing. And then you put him in the Eagles system. They didn't have a great offensive line at the time, and he looked awful. So, yeah, there's that. Running backs, it's... You're healthy for 2-3 years, and that's it. The Giants, we needed a security blanket with Eli Manning and Saquon Barkley. Now they have their quarterback. Don't think they handled it in the best way, but I don't think anybody does. And yeah, so now you're building up your defense. You traded a great asset in Odell. You flipped them from a number 10 overall pick to a number 17 overall pick, a number 26 who was Jabril Peppers, and a third rounder. So I think that was a successful thing. The Cleveland Browns aren't looking any good either, because I think their offensive line is a huge question, but that's a different topic for a different day. As far as the Cowboys, I think they're third place in this division this year. I'm officially jumping off the Cowboys bandwagon. And you're gonna see in my video next week what I really think of them. So yeah, let's move on to the next topic I want to talk about, because it's this. So the NBA, people are talking about Chris Paul. He needs to go. Wait, why does he need to go? He needs to get away from the Thunder. I think the Thunder should keep him. His value right now is the lowest it's ever been, because of all this stigma. He's a bad teammate. He's bad this. He's bad that. And with the Thunder, I think he's going to find himself a little bit home. And I think that he's going to increase his tradability. You know, teams like the Miami Heat have been in the conversation. I know Blake Griffin has been rumored to go places, and then Chris Paul could then go back to go to the Pistons or something like that. But it's all about patience. It's all about waiting for your assets to be the highest and then taking advantage of that. I think Chris Paul right now, his value is the lowest it'll ever be. And right now, there aren't too many teams that are going to compete that are looking for the number one guy. I'd wait and I'd wait and I'd wait until a team becomes desperate, a team loses a player, or something like that happens, and all of a sudden it's just like Indiana's in a good spot, they're 4th overall, Victor Oladipo goes down, and then it's just like, okay, we need a guy. You know, all of a sudden Victor Oladipo is is injury prone, and then you need Chris Paul to fill it in. So I definitely would wait to see where Chris Paul goes. And my best guess right now is he stays for the entire year, not just until like the December deadline, because 40% of the players moved, and there aren't too many suitors. If you're Houston, you knew that they were going to make a big deal with Westbrook, and everything's fine and dandy, but everywhere Chris Paul goes is bad. And it'll take a desperate team for Chris Paul to go to. And I think as the season wanes on, there's going to be that desperate team. There's going to be that team that loses that one player, the team that exceeds expectations, like maybe the Hawks or something. And all of a sudden, it's just like, oh shit, like he can play here and he can go for a run for it. You know, we're a 5th seed. You know, Milwaukee doesn't look as good, and there are plenty of situations that can happen, and that's far more likely than right now with trading him to play, because you'd have to trade a lot of your future assets to go get, you know, to go get somebody to take his contract. And now with all these first overall picks, and the Thunder have been good with drafting players. You know, they drafted Durant, Westbrook, Steven Adams, Schroeder, all these guys. They've really developed and had them pretty good. So I don't see why not just bank on you're going to continue to draft well like they've had over the past couple of years. They're good at developing a farm system. You know, Billy Donovan, he's your coach now. You've committed to him, and now you gotta go for it. You gotta wait, and you gotta see what Chris Paul has. I think Chris Paul, he doesn't want to play with Oklahoma City, but you do want to build a culture. Chris Paul works with a lot of young guys. He really clashes with a lot of old talent. James Harden he clashed with. You know, when he was with the Clippers, he clashed with a lot of older guys like Blake Griffin, guys that had a little bit of experience, and other stars. You know, he clashed with them. Now, he doesn't have a lot of stars. You have Schroeder, you have Steven Adams, you have Gallinari, a couple other pieces. But none of these guys are you know, stars. There's no expectations on the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, for years and years, Chris Paul, every single year, has had expectations. With Houston, make it to the finals. You know, with the Clippers, make a Western Conference championship at least. Now he doesn't have any talent. You know, he doesn't have anything right now. And I think that you take this year to boost your trade value and go to the team that's actually competing. And I think Oklahoma City will be good for it. And I think the team that gets him will be good for it because they're actually use him. He's still a 20-10 player. I think he can average. I think he just needs to rest up his body a little bit because he's had high usage rates. You let the young players develop. I think the Oklahoma City has a new point guard that they want to test out. So you test him out, give Chris Paul a lot of minutes. And Chris Paul has to be patient. You know, he did this to himself, and that's what he has to realize. And I think he'll start realizing that going into the future. So, yeah, that's my opinions about Chris Paul. As far as the Knicks, we're in a pretty good spot. And I wouldn't want to trade for Chris Paul. We have to wait. I think we wait for 2021, try to make a move for Anthony Davis, depending on what happens this season. Right now, we didn't have any assets to give to anybody. We had a 3rd overall pick, but that was pretty much it. This year, we're going to be... I think a 35-ish win team. We're going to be in the lottery again. And we're going to go from there. And the Knicks, you know, we have a lot of power forwards. I know that's become a meme, but, you know, we just need to develop assets. And we haven't been doing that. Well, we have been doing that as of late. But, you know, we need to develop assets and trade pieces and start being smarter. You know, not just trying to go for that free agent and shoot for the moon, you know, but kind of go the low route, because we realize that doesn't work anymore, and hopefully by 2021 we can attract a free agent. But yeah, there's that. That's it. So that's the 99th episode of BNA Sports Talk. I don't know what significance that means. I don't know what's going to happen, but my next video is going to be my NFL predictions, official predictions as training camp starts. Probably going to be by tomorrow. Tomorrow is July 20th, so definitely hold my feet to the fire. I'm not sure if this is going to come out July 22nd. No, I need to edit this by tonight. It's an easy edit, but I hope you guys enjoy this video. Definitely let me know what you guys thought of all the things I talked about in this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.